Your love is like a gun, you shot me down, said I'm the one. When I was on the run, you had my back right through the sun. Ginger me, girl. Your body just a ginger me, oh, baby, come close, don't you run away. We say I not you. Mean to me dark cause I'm thinking about you. Me the makuman in a be my woo.
All right. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. We're going to go ahead and get started. So, good afternoon and welcome to the fourth annual Sacramento School Wellness Summit. We're so happy that you're here with us today and truly honored that you're spending your afternoon with us. Whether you're joining from Sacramento or beyond, we thank you. So our funder, California's CalFresh Healthy Living Program, with funding from the United States Department of Agriculture's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or USDA SNAP, produced this Justice for All poster. This institution is a equal opportunity provider and employer. And if you want some more nutrition info, you can visit www.calfreshhealthyliving.org. All right, so you're all probably wondering, who is this person talking and what are we here for? So my name is Hiba El Tahir. I am your host and a program administrator for our Healthy Schools program here at the Health Education Council. We are a nonprofit organization whose mission is to cultivate health and well-being in underserved communities by leveraging the power of collaboration. We hope that through this summit, you come away with new ideas, knowledge, connections, and inspiration, and also a shared hope that a better and more equitable future is ahead for our students and our families. So before we get started, I would like to share a few housekeeping announcements with you all. Attendee lines will be automatically muted and the video feature is off. This session, as well as all the other summit sessions, are being recorded and the slides will be available after the summit as well as the recordings. Please use the chat, the raise hand feature as well, and also the Q&A feature to ask any questions. We welcome all of your respectful dialogue and discussion in the chat. We'll also be providing post-session surveys at the end of today's session and each summit session. Incentives as well as professional development credits will be available for attendees who complete the post-session surveys. So for those of you who are requesting professional development credits for today, you will need to complete those post-session surveys for each session that you attend. With that, I'm really excited to share that this year's 2023 theme is Harmony and Health, Fueling the Future with Wellness. So we will be diving into the connection between nutrition and physical activity and how we can support the holistic health and well-being of all of our students and our families. So today I have the honor and privilege of introducing an amazing leader in the field and community who will be providing today's session, Bessie O'Connor. Bessie is a nutrition science project manager at Dairy Council of California. As a member of the nutrition science team, she helps collect, analyze, and communicate current nutrition research to ensure resources and messaging are evidence-based. We love that. She also supports the organizational trends process and the development of nutrition science publications and reports. She received a Bachelor's of Science in Dietetics from the University of Northern Colorado in 2017 and completed an accredited dietetic internship with Priority Care in 2019. Prior to becoming a registered dietitian nutritionist, Bessie received her BA in anthropology from University of Hawaii Manoa. She has 3 school-age children and believes strongly in the collective role of whole school environment in shaping children's social, emotional development. So today's interactive presentation will highlight some of those things, highlighting some of the findings from the 2023 Trends for Educators and Health Professionals publication, including topics such as the rise in food as medicine, a food-forward approach to improving diet quality and health in key life stages. We'll also be talking about economic uncertainty and another trend called dietary sustainability efforts. So participants, you all will have the opportunity to reflect on how current trends are impacting you personally and the greater nutrition and education environment that you engage in or support. And we'll also be identifying opportunities to enhance touch points for nutrition and agricultural literacy in schools. And we are so fortunate to have Bessie with us today to provide the first session of our summit. So please join me in welcoming Bessie, and I will hand it off to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hiba. The music was such a nice touch. I just got me like very relaxed and in the mood. So thank you very much for that. Again, my name is Bessie O'Connor. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, and we're going to be diving into trends shaping the education environment. So we have 3 objectives today. After this presentation, you will be able to identify trends in the current nutrition and education environment, as well as the implications for improving school wellness strategies. You'll be able to understand how the Let's Eat Healthy initiative fosters opportunities for collaboration to advance school wellness strategies, and identify strategies to improve nutrition security, nutrition education, and agricultural literacy in schools. So the very brief background on Dairy Council of California. So for over 100 years, we have been working with educators and health professionals and community leaders to achieve our cause, because we are a cause-based organization, which is to elevate the health of children and communities through the pursuit of lifelong healthy eating habits. We are funded by dairy farm families, that's including milk processors and dairy farmers, and we're overseen by the California Department of Food and Agriculture. Dairy Council of California is science-based nutrition education resources. Our mobile dairy classroom assemblies, our training programs, and online resources are available at no cost. And this helps to provide nutrition education to millions of students and families in California and throughout the United States. At Dairy Council of California, we are guided by our values, which the first one is that we believe in advancing nutrition security for optimal growth, health, and well-being, which contributes to healthy communities. And you'll notice there the key word is nutrition security, moving beyond food security, really focusing on those nutrient-dense foods as well as nutrition education. 2, we believe communities should be supported to ensure equitable access to nutrition education and healthy foods. 3, we believe milk and dairy foods are essential in sustainable food systems. And 4, we believe collaboration is vital to maximize collective impact. And these values not only guide all of the work that we do, but they also guide the different topics that we follow through our trends tracking process. Some examples of these topics are community health, nutrition, the school environment, the food environment and access, and dietary patterns, just to name a handful. So before we dive into the trends, I think it's important to know, how do we develop our trends? And we have a proprietary process that we've been using for over 30 years. And it helps us identify the most strategic path for our organization, and really be able to embrace important emerging opportunities in the environment. So we have a staff of a little under 50 people, and a large majority of the staff are assigned different publications that these can be academic journals, trade publications, or periodicals. And they abstract on these different publications, and those go into our database. And then 3 times a year, we have a team of about 15 dietitians and health and communication experts. And we meet 3 times a year to really identify those key themes that are coming through. So through conversation and critical analysis of all of those abstracts, we determine what is emerging as the most relevant and impactful to our audiences. And then another critical function of our trends process is thought leadership. So beyond just being able to report on kind of what are those trends that are emerging, is that we also want to provide implications that partners can consider on how they can best address what is occurring in their environment. So in this presentation, we will explore these relevant trends as well as the implications. All right, so we're going to take a moment to have a little reflection. What nutrition or education trends are you seeing in the school environment? So before we dive into the trends that we've identified, I just kind of wanted to get an idea of what everyone here today is kind of seeing in their school environment, or in just the nutrition environment or the education environment. So go ahead and put into the chat. We'll just have like 30 seconds to kind of think about that. Are you seeing anything in your environment? Let's see. We see an increase in food allergies, cooking demos, like processed foods, packaged foods that are high in calories, increasing in farm to school programming, people wanting more hands-on cooking, an increase in vegetarian, vegan, kosher, halal foods, a move towards scratch cooking, more variety. So a school is giving kids three entree options, community gardens. So yeah, this is great. I think that as we move through the different trends, you'll see that there's alignment here in what everyone's expressing. More ethnic choices, cultural foods. Awesome. All right. So the trends are coming soon, I promise. But to set the stage, it's important to understand some of the major shifts in our environment. California Department of Education data shows that over 55% of California students are currently identified as Latinx. As you can see in this chart, the growing diversity in California schools, as well as our communities, will require more culturally inclusive and equitable approaches to really building those healthy, sustainable food systems. And some of you mentioned that there's been increase in cultural foods, so we can see why that's so important. The White House Conference on Hunger, Nutrition, and Health, which was held a year ago, outlined specific priorities to improve nutrition security and reduce health disparities. So these solutions reinforce that promoting equitable access to nutritious foods requires long-term investments at all levels, and which is great. What we're seeing, what we're doing here today, gathering at this wellness summit, is just we're diving in, we're digging in at that local level. So this is great. Next slide. All right, the first trend. Food is medicine, increasingly viewed as a solution to improving health. So within our trend sources, we have seen the idea of food as medicine as a solution for health. Food as medicine programs are evolving from community pilots to public health programs. So they're really growing with more funding and grants available to establish them. This is in part due to the White House Conference on Hunger, Nutrition, and Health that I just mentioned, which highlighted that food as medicine is a key strategy to improve health and nutrition security. And this really shows that nutrition should play a role in sustaining health and preventing disease. So traditionally, food as medicine has been in aid for medical intervention. So medically tailored meals is something that really comes to mind. But with this renewed prioritization of food as medicine as a preventative approach to health, we've seen that this trend is also being caught by our consumer audience, who are increasingly looking to food and beverages for health promoting properties. So just a few examples include mushroom infused drinks for stress reduction, cookies with ingredients to help sleep, moon milk, traditional Indian staple, which is a combination of milk and herbs to aid with sleep and relaxation. And these are just a few examples. But this also includes social media influencers who are causing this term, food is medicine, to really be a catchphrase term. And this impacts and helps gain followers. Although food is medicine at the consumer level should really be thought of as nutritious dietary patterns over time. So following the dietary guidelines for Americans, which encourages consumption of nutrient-dense foods like fruits and vegetables, dairy, whole grains, and protein, because there's not just one food or one nutrient or one ingredient that can single-handedly impact lifelong health. It really is diet quality over time. All right, so another moment of reflection to think about what food is medicine means to us. I think there is the potential for this concept of food is medicine or food as medicine. You really see it used interchangeably to catalyze some great wellness and health strategies. So I just wanted to take a minute to kind of get an idea of what does this term food is medicine mean to you? So go ahead and put in the chat preventative care, whole foods, awesome. Nutrition and health promoting. Good food keeps you healthy. Knowing the ingredients in the meals you serve, eat good, feel good. Yeah, these are all great. So, with the White House conference really centering this, this concept, I think there's just opportunity for people to really rethink and really be able to make that connection between food and health. So thank you for everyone for participating. Just going to read the last one. Learn to eat better, veggies, fruit, and choice, and the ingredients, very important for our health. Yes, awesome. Okay, thank you, everyone. All right, so what are the implications of this trend? School meals, which include nutrient-dense foods, are foundational for student success, and nutrition education to accompany school meal programs reinforces the important role nutritious dietary patterns play in student wellness in the short and long term. And so that nutrition education component is so important because, as we saw in the trend that people are still being influenced by social media and educating on the fact that you don't have to go and buy, a special cookie to relax. Really, it's diet quality, it's overall dietary patterns over time that will have the biggest impact on preventative health preventing chronic diseases. All right, next slide. So the next trend is pregnancy, early childhood, and older adulthood are key life stages for nutrition interventions that include nutrient-dense dairy foods. So in our next trend, we have seen an increase in focus on pregnancy, early childhood, and older adults. We're seeing it in policies, in research, as well as in community programs. And while each life stage has important dietary needs, we're understanding that those at each end of life spectrum are critical time periods for nutrition, and dairy foods in particular can play a unique role in supporting health. So there's been increasing focus on pregnancy and early childhood as a critical window to obtain nutrients for proper growth, and particularly brain growth, so neurodevelopment. And the American Academy of Pediatrics has identified 11 key nutrients that are critical for fetal and early childhood brain development. And dairy contains 7 of those nutrients. Key nutrients such as calcium, iodine, choline, and vitamin D found in dairy, as well as iron-rich foods such as meat and beans, are particularly important for pregnancy and early childhood. So on the other end of the lifespan, older adulthood is an age group that is getting more attention as the population of aging adults is continuing to grow. In California, the over 60 population is expected to diversify and grow faster than any other age group, and by 2030 will be about a quarter of the state's population. This population will be seeking support for optimal wellness, including how to preserve and improve cognitive health, how to stay active and maintain quality of life. So cognitive health, bone health, all of these start to come into play, as well as the prevention and treatment of chronic diseases. So balanced diets will play a crucial role in helping our growing and aging population stay healthy as well. So the implications are that future dietary guidance will include specific nutrition solutions to support key life stages. So I think that we're going to continue to see through the dietary guidelines of Americans, more specific guidance for key life stages. And just with this past, the dietary guidelines of Americans 2020 to 2025, we saw this expansion of life stages into pregnancy and early childhood. And so I think we're going to just continue to see that there are unique life stages that require critical nutrients. There's also increasing opportunity to preserve sustainable nutritious eating patterns that include dairy. All right, our next trend. Economic uncertainty and unpredictability impact consumers' workforce and funding. So we are seeing the impacts of economic strain at all levels. Consumers are feeling it in the rising costs of food and inflation and are responding in their shopping behaviors. They're shifting their eating behaviors to maybe eat more at home. And this shift provides opportunity for nutrition education to really highlight the need for nutrient-dense foods and access to those nutrient-dense foods, produce prescriptions, things like that, going back to that food is medicine concept, so that those nutrient-dense foods are accessible to be able to be utilized for, cooking at home. And then ongoing fallout from the pandemic and economic instability are also leading to workforce disruptions. Teachers and health professionals are two professions that are struggling to retain and attract employees to address, the diverse and critical needs within our communities. All right, another moment to kind of soak in some of that information and do some reflection. So how have you witnessed economic instability in the environment? Are you witnessing anything at your schools? It could even be in your personal life. So go ahead and enter into the chat. Higher credit card debt. Good food costs more. Schools getting less funding. Yeah. Inflation, absolutely. I feel like I can, every time I go to the grocery store, I'm always shocked. Increased homelessness population. Yeah, so it looks like everyone's kind of seeing this trend take shape in their environments. People are worrying about costs and less funding for schools, layoffs, food costs more, rent costs increase, and high concern for being able to afford groceries. Yeah, these are all good examples of how we're kind of seeing this trend manifest in the environment. So kind of to emphasize some of those comments that everyone made, I think you're going to find alignment that we're seeing, in the same time as this economic instability, we've also seen progress in supporting nutrition security funding. So we've seen there's been boosts in programs within schools and for communities. These additions include allocating millions to provide universal free meals to all school-age children, as well as grants to upgrade school kitchens and farm-to-school efforts. However, with the uncertainty of the current economic environment, there is concern that these increases in investments are not sustainable, and we're already seeing impacts of unstable funding. One example is the rollback of the extra SNAP federal food benefits that was granted during the pandemic for millions of households in California, which ended in March. And then we're also seeing an increase, California's largest investment of any state in the country in farm to school programs, allocating approximately $100 million over the next 3 years. And a large portion of funds are supporting that California Farm to School Incubator Grant Program. And so we've really just seen funding for those programs grow. From 2020, they were funded $10 million, and now in 2020, the 2022-2023 school year, there's $60 million for that program. So just looking ahead and feeling a little bit uncertain if that funding will be able to continue. So the implications, there's opportunity to amplify data that demonstrates the health, academic, and economic benefits of state and federally funded nutrition security programs. And as communities deal with economic uncertainty, a focus on the value of nutrient-dense foods through school meals is an opportunity to support students and communities. So those federal meal programs are, increasingly important. All right. Our last trend today is California dairies lead progress for achieving healthy, sustainable food systems, but focus remains on the plant-based movement to solve the climate crisis. So coming from the perspective of dietary guidance and comprehensive nutrition and ag literacy, we're seeing data continues to show that California dairy industry's progress as leaders in climate-smart agriculture and sustainable nutrition. Yet we often see plant-exclusive dietary patterns being put forward as a solution to improve both individual and planetary health. And there's a need to find strategies to highlight and amplify the innovations and achievements toward progress that are being led by the California dairy sector. So one example of this is a new study shows that California dairy sector is on target to reach climate neutrality by 2050, which means they're on track to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by balancing emissions so that they're equal or less than emissions from the dairy sector. So thinking about sustainable nutrition, really it's complex and multifaceted, but there's critical elements that include, health and nutrition, which is, our area of expertise or my area of expertise, and then culture and environment and economics. And nutrient-dense dairy foods bring together these elements here in California. The dairy community is taking steps in these areas by, reducing environmental impact, providing nutrient-dense foods here locally as well as around the world, and educating and informing on how to improve the health of people and planet, and contributing to economic livelihoods as well, and the health of our local communities. California is also investing in farm-to-school programs to build value for local sustainable food systems for children. And it's important that dairy's sustainability story is included in those efforts, in addition to amazing gardening education and ag literacy programs that are focused on fruits and vegetables. It'll be important to provide a comprehensive California ag story. So the implications are that investments in farm-to-school and sustainable nutrition programs create opportunity to highlight the California dairy community's climate-smart farming practices and leadership. And dairy farm tours and other dairy ag literacy experiences are a solution to equip students and educators and food service staff with comprehensive ag education. So that concludes the current trends. Every year when we are analyzing and trying to identify those themes that are coming through in the environment. We don't have a set number of trends that we do. And so this past year happened to be only 4 trends. But so that concludes the trends that we identified for 2023. So now we're going to move into the application portion. Dairy Council of California, as I mentioned before, believes strongly in collaboration. It's one of our values, and that it's vital to improve the health of our communities, and that collaborative efforts have a much greater impact on the health of children and families and communities than any individual or organization can achieve on its own. So with this, Dairy Council of California launched the Let's Eat Healthy initiative, which unites and activates partners through shared values toward a common goal of building healthier children and families and communities through coordination, collaboration, and co-creation. So Let's Eat Healthy provides an actionable platform to have ongoing strategies and work collaboratively in schools and communities. So the initiative focuses on 3 goals: nutrition security, which is to support sustainable and equitable, safe and nutritious and affordable food supply that meets nutrition science standards and helps individuals build healthy eating patterns. An example of this, of course, is federal child nutrition programs, food banks, and food distribution programs. The second goal is nutrition education. So really ensuring science-based and comprehensive nutrition information and promotion of education are consistent, they're relevant, age appropriate, and culturally informed. And then lastly, collaboration. We want to activate partnerships across sectors and disciplines and work collaboratively to find solution. There really are so many diverse ways to engage in Let's Eat Healthy and to engage in wellness strategies. So this slide demonstrates kind of a spectrum of activation. The spectrum of activation is a continuum of commitments and actions to help transform communities to really thrive. So going a little bit more into specific strategy applications. We really want to educate. We want to build advocates for wellness in the school communities. We want to collaborate and we want to activate. So really educating on the importance of nutrition security and impact on health in key life stages. I think that's really an important piece, because I think sometimes where there's the disconnect is we have to be really driven back down to that why. Why is it so important to address nutrition security? Promote child nutrition programs such as universal meals and summer meals. Explore strategies to expand nutrition security programs in schools and communities. Assess nutrition education materials. Really try to push beyond, and make sure that resources are diverse and culturally inclusive. Expand nutrition education to non-traditional settings. How can we make it more digestible for educators? Maybe there's an aspect of it within the school environment. Maybe there's some after school, maybe there's some community education, but really collaborating to unify those different education strategies in non-traditional settings. Activate nutrition-themed campaigns to elevate action, and align ag literacy to promote sustainable nutrition and educate on California's diverse food systems. All right, so with a few ideas kind of discussed just now on the past slides, now we're gonna have an activity and we're gonna think about how your work is aligning and activating Let's Eat Healthy. So go ahead and you can scan the QR code if that's easier. Let's see, we can put we don't have the chat, let me see. We can put the link to the Padlet in the chat as well, so you can click on the link. Let's see. My chat is not coming up for some reason. There we go. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Sonia. Beat me to it. She put it in the chat. Thank you. So you can use the link in the chat, or you can scan the QR code to access that Padlet. And go ahead and type in, how is your work aligning and activating Let's Eat Healthy? Is it through advancing nutrition security, advocating for nutrition education, engaging a network of collaborators, bringing people together, sharing ideas? We see improving school wellness policy. Ooh, a chef cooking class after school. Speaking with principals at local schools. I'll just give everyone, like 30 seconds. All right, so I'm going to start moving through some of these. So we see in advancing nutrition security, hosting a summer meals kickoff event, serving CACFP at districts, awesome. So like after school meal programs, hosting a summer meal kickoff event, connecting people with food distribution centers, organizing food drives for the underserved community, hosting weekly food distributions for community members, conducting food distributions. So it's awesome. So I hope that, through seeing some of these ideas that it can inspire. All right, so for advocating for nutrition education, our organization is educating our community about how to prepare healthy meals, engaging with parents about importance of nutrition education in schools, speaking with senior citizen groups to include healthy eating and physical activity lessons. Awesome. I love how that aligns to our trend on, an increased focus on the older and aging population. Implementing Let's Eat Healthy nutrition series. Awesome. Coordinate nutrition schools with nutrition services, offering cooking classes for the community, collaboration with school districts and other partner agencies, cooking classes and school policies. Love this. There's so many. I love it. Offering food demonstrations for after school programs, healthy nutrition education with students, speaking with principals at local schools, so getting that buy-in, improving students' idea of healthy foods. Awesome. All right, and engaging a network of collaborators. So collaborating with school districts to conduct cooking classes for mothers. That's awesome. So I love this because this is just showing just such great examples of thinking beyond the traditional settings for nutrition education. Working with other school districts, sharing scratch recipes. And this is what these, countywide summits are all about, just being able to share, what's working, ideas for wellness strategies, improving school wellness policy, and chef cooking class after school. Great. Thank you, everyone. All right. Well, that was really great. I really appreciate everyone participating and sharing what is working for them, what amazing things that are already happening. And because as we all know, this is just, it's an ongoing effort. You know, there's never going to be, you know, an end point. We're always just going to keep working towards improving community health. So I wanted to share some opportunities to see Let's Eat Healthy in action. So we have the Let's Eat Healthy Leadership Award, which celebrates California champions who educate, inspire, and empower communities to develop lifelong healthy eating patterns. So this is the 5th year, and the award program recognizes and celebrates individuals, youth leaders, different organizations that improve nutrition education and access to nutritious foods. So I encourage you all to check out the landing page at healthyeating.org/award to learn more about the Leadership Award program and to nominate a local champion to help share their story through the Let's Eat Healthy platform. Submission will be accepted through December 1st, and awardees will be announced during March in honor of National Nutrition Month. So I encourage you all to check that out. I would also like to share that we have Let's Eat Healthy Community. We have a Let's Eat Healthy Community Grant Program, which has a goal of establishing innovative, collaborative, and sustainable solutions that address needs of local communities that are going to ensure access to nutritious foods, resources, and tools, make them more accessible. And we really wanted to have these grant programs be able to one, be innovative, but also really be community driven. We know that there's unique needs, and we want those to come. They're more successful when it's coming from the communities. So if you are looking to make a difference with, you know, youth and families, or with the broader community and need funding, and if your work aligns to our values and goals of Let's Eat Healthy, please you can request an application. They are now open, so you can check out our webpage to learn more about our grant program and funding availability to support these wellness strategies. And so you can visit healthyeating.org/grants. Next slide. Thank you. So some session takeaways. A few of, I would really just like to encourage you to share and discuss the learnings that you have from the trends presented today that are relevant to you and that may have an impact on your work. You may discuss ways you can apply the strategies presented. And you can access a copy of the latest nutrition trends report at healthyeating.org to stay informed and learn about the latest in nutrition science, as well as trends in nutrition, and have access to tools and nutrition information and resources that can be used to teach children, families, and community on different nutrition topics. And that can be just more informative, or, you know, actual nutrition resources. And then connect with us and the Let's Eat Healthy community to help further partnerships by joining and engaging in the Let's Eat Healthy initiative. Let's Eat Healthy provides, you know, advising and tools for professionals to advance student wellness strategies. So we, you know, absolutely love to hear your ideas on collaboration. Collaboration really can sometimes just take an email to see what the possibilities are. What are some of those ideas that you have? We'd love to hear them and see how we can partner in the future. So thank you very much for joining this session. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Bessie. That was very informative, and we really enjoyed learning about all the nutritional trends and thinking about ways that we can actually implement some of the research that you shared with us. So we would like to open the floor up if there are any questions or comments that anyone would like to share with us. Please drop them in the chat. And you can use the Q&A feature to ask your questions or put any comments that you have in the chat. I see some folks saying that was cool. Thank you for sharing the great information. Do we have any questions coming through in the chat? We'll give you guys a couple more seconds to think of any questions that you might have.
But there was a clarifying, Sonia clarified, because she is the lead of the Let's Eat Healthy grant program, but it will open at the end of those grants. The applications for those will open at the end of September.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thank you. I do have a question. How can or where can folks connect with the Let's Eat Healthy framework or Dairy Council just to learn more or kind of get some follow-up information?
Yes, at healthyeating.org. That is what the go-to, that's our website. And there you can find all of the information that I shared. You can find access to, I sent that directly to, oopsie. There we go.
Yep, Sonia put it in the chat. Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you,
It's healthy
Sonia,
eating.
Yeah, healthyeating.org. Yeah, there you'll be able to access, we kind of have, more nutrition, science-focused resources, and then we also have just community end user resources, as well as information about the Let's Eat Healthy initiative, information about the Let's Eat Healthy grants, and so everything you can find there.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, if there's no other questions, I just have a couple more announcements and then we can close out. So again, I would really love to thank Bessie for your amazing presentation. And I want to thank everyone who joined us today for this opening session. Before we close out, I do want to invite you all actually to our Health Education Council Walk for Health event. This will be a free event scheduled for Saturday, September 30th from 9 to 12 p.m. at Robla Community Park here in Sacramento. The walk is a free, family-friendly event that promotes exercise and social connections. Following the walk, participants can also visit the job and health fairs that we'll be hosting at that event as well, and also participate in various games and activities that are being planned. There'll be Zumba there, there'll be a kids race walk, an adult race walk. So it should be a really exciting event if you all would love to join us. And we will send out the registration link to you all via email. It's also has just been posted in the chat by Lynn. So feel free to take a look at that and register for the event if you'd like to attend. Again, it is free and family friendly. With that, we will close out today's session. As a reminder, if you need professional development credits for today's session, or you'd like to be entered to win a gift card, please complete the post survey, which is linked in the chat and will also be sent through email after the session. Remember to join us tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. for the next session of the summit entitled See, Hear, Do, Engage, a framework for school-wide physical activity promotion and healthy culture building by our partners from Catch Global Foundation. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow and have a great evening, everyone. Thank you. Bye. Take care. All right. Thanks, Hard Job. Thank you for coming. Thanks, Jen. I don't know if you're still here. Appreciate you coming.